when it comes to discussing gender quotas or the conversation around wage gap, it's very heated. And in today's debate, we have the motion that reads, gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality. I read the motion again. Gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality. Debating this motion today is Kangaru School versus Archangel's Kanyweri. And all the best to both teams. Team proposition, first speaker, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm from the Archangel's Kanyweri. I'm here to propose the motion that says gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality. First, we understand gender. Gender, it is the characteristic of being a male, a female, a girl, or a boy by socially. Also, wages are short-term payment of weekly or daily. Equality is the state of being equal in status or light. I propose this motion by eliminating these gender-based wage gaps. We will encourage both genders to work and in school, to go for further education and do the same careers, knowing that after they have completed their careers, they will get the same wages. So if we pay one gender more than the other, then the other gender will not be encouraged to do this course and will be discouraged, will not be encouraged, will not have that power to do their career knowing that you will get less wage. Secondly, if we promote this, we eliminate the gender-based wage gaps, we will promote our rights. Both genders have the same rights according to the Constitution. So when we pay one gender less than the other, then we are discriminating one. Then the second one is that by eliminating these gender-based wage gaps, we will promote unity in our families. This is because both genders will be bringing something and they will be both encouraged to go to work. If we pay one gender less than the other, we will discourage them, the gender that is paying less, from going to the work. And then it's only gender that will be providing for the family. But if we pay them the same, we will encourage them and increase the competition in the works. Let's say if an engineer, one gender is paying more than the other, then means that the other gender that is paid less will not be encouraged to do this course. Therefore, in that family, the person who has that desire will not do the course. And in the family, it will be dependent on the other person. But if we eliminate it, the competition in our jobs will be more. If we eliminate the gender wage gaps, we will also encourage these people to work in the same institutions. Let's say if a male nurse is paid more than a female nurse, then this one we will be discouraged and will not have that courage to do the work. So we should eliminate this gap for them to have the courage. So even in our schools, if we discriminate one gender than the other, meaning that this gender that is discriminated will not be performing in school, because you will think, even if I perform and get... Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my hands I have an apple. Let's call this apple gender equality. I take a bite out of it. Let's call that bite gender wage gaps. Remember, I've only taken one bite. There are other parts of this apple still remaining, which represent the other things that we need to consider in order to achieve gender equality. And my name is Jacob Minor from the prestigious school, Kangaru School, here to oppose the motion that gender wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality because of these reasons. I'll be taking you through these reasons. First of all, my opponents, you didn't define what are gender wage gaps. Gender wage gaps, they refer to the disparity in earnings between men and women, or two or more different genders. Gender equality, our opponents made us to believe that definition was theirs. They made us to believe that. But I'm here to oppose it. Gender equality is a situation whereby access to rights and opportunities in the society is not limited by gender. We need to consider other factors. I'm not saying that eliminating these gender-based wage gaps is not something to do. I'm only saying that it is not the best thing to do. First of all, the first thing to consider is economic consideration and individual choices. Here, we have individual choices, meaning that individual choices is something that also undermines gender equality. A study by American Psychological Association dated the science of the difference in science and math states that women often go for jobs that are more flexible, often go for jobs that have a more work-life equality. They often go for jobs that they actually consider job security over high salaries, meaning that only eliminating gender wage gaps is not the ultimate solution for everything. Eliminating these gender-based wage gaps, it's not the only thing that actually promotes gender equality. For one, in real life experience, how do we see this? For example, let me ask you a question, my audience, and my opponents also. Where are women more concentrated at? We see areas just as education. Women, more teachers are women. Areas like healthcare, not healthcare, but areas like teaching, we have healthcare also, but sorry for that. We also have healthcare. So tell me, if women are more concentrated in these areas, this is also a factor to consider. For also, it is not only gender wage gaps actually that undermine this gender equality. Also, we should consider stuff like economic consideration and individual choices. Thank you for your time.
I am Monene Francis from the Archangels Kanyweri, here to propose the motion that says gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality. First, prioritizing one gender with more wages than the other brings about some conflicts in our families. This is where the inferior gender, the more paid gender, feels superior to the other gender which is paid less money, and thus they feel that they are the kings of the homes, and therefore this will lead to domestic violence. This causes the demolition of many homes where the children have to go away because of the parents have separated, and therefore the children will prefer to go to the side where they know there is more money than compared to the other side, and therefore this will cause some domestic violence, which would have been avoided if the genders were paid the same amount of money. Therefore, the children will be having the choice to move to any direction, whether to move to the father side or the mother side. Another thing that is caused by gender wage gaps in the current situation is there is an increase in social evils. This is because the inferior gender, which is paid less money than the other, the one that received less wages, they opt to get the money from other alternative sources which are evil, like things like prostitution, the beach boys, and different theft. Therefore, by eliminating these gender wage gaps, we will be promoting the people will try to join more beneficiaries works to get the money. So therefore, it will help reduce the social evils which are rampant in our country. Another thing caused by gender wage gaps is there's a big gap between the genders. The more paid gender and the inferior gender. Therefore, this leads to different living standards. By eliminating the gender wage gaps in our country, we shall be narrowing the gap, and therefore no gender will feel superior to the other gender. Thank you.
Looking at our opposers, I can see that they were afraid to lose. That's why they decided to play a cat and mouse game. Before you is James Solly from the renowned Kangaru School, ready to oppose the motion that says gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated. Gender-based wage gaps should be eliminated to promote gender equality. So, like our first opposer just said, it's not only gender-based wage gaps, but there are also other factors. I had the proposing team posing a question and saying that men are that by eliminating gender wage gaps will actually be discouraging the conflicts in the homes. So I like to ask this question: weren't men actually posed as the heads of the family? What are you saying? Are you saying that both men and women are supposed to be heads of the family? Remember, too many cooks spoil the broth. Also, I like to add, there's complexity of measuring wage gaps in like to measure the wage gaps, there are factors of which have to be considered. One, there's education. Like you have to know and you have to be educated on how you're going to do this, how you're going to measure accurately on what you're going to measure. Also, remember, there has to be experience. Like you just can't go on doing something yet you don't have experience. You'll actually do the incorrect calculation, and your calculation will actually go against everything of which you want to score. Also, I like to add, in the complexity, not only is there experience but also job opportunities. I want you to look at this. If you're not given an opportunity to measure the gender wage gap, how do you even know that it exists? We'll only live in a way that every single person or every single place that you go, there's just gender wage gaps. You have no proof. I'd also like to add, there's difference in every single man, male or women, working hours. For example, women tend to work at a less working hour. Why am I saying this? You see, if you look at men and women, or even, let me not just go too far, in our schools, you know, he said that by eliminating gender, he talked about performance. So, like looking at them, I can see they're both genders. Are they not performing well? Also to add, he says that it will increase the amount of competition. That was from our first proposer. So you want to tell me, you want us to live in a world or in a nation of which there'll be no competition? Who doesn't like competition? You will always like to be seen as greater than the others or superior. So just to clarify, these gender wage gaps are what actually implement or increase our confidence in everything that we do. Thank you.
Thank you to all our audience and our judges. This is the motion that says gender-based wages should be eliminated to promote gender equality. First of all, I have a question. How can we increase competition if a female gender is paid less? It will not be self-motivated. Once and all, everybody, if he has a chance to get equal money, he has a motivation, he has an hard work, he will make an extra work to do it. Also, some jobs, careers are stopped because they are paid less. Some people are paid less in, for example, nursing. Men tend to not work at nursing because they know they will not be paid as the same as the women. The men are denied their passion, their rights, because everyone has a right to an equal, because we are equal in the society. Why can we give ourselves the first chance to introduce a woman? Let us empower a woman. Because what a man can do, a woman can do it better and better more. This gives parental guidance. Look at this. If just one gender is working and paid more, he will just be motivated and leave his children alone. The children will never get the other parent, the parent of who is working, because he needs promotions and other things. Also, gender equality helps us to work as a team. Look at our school. We have some female gender in our school. We work together. We share ideas. But if we share ideas of what we can do afterwards, but if if our female gender is not motivated, no female will be able to have a chance to work together. Also, if the wages are standardized and paid equally, these help the national in budgeting. Also help the people who collect tax as the tax collectors. Also, some rich people evade paying tax, whereby the government lose their money because they don't get all the tax collected. More so, social evils are reduced in our homes, because if a dad can bring this and a mom can bring this, all the parents will appreciate, all the children will appreciate through the dad and the mom, but not saying my dad always bring this but mom does not, the children are not. I'm Brian Mwenda from the Archangels Kanyweri. Thank you.
Our opposition looks like a butterfly, but they sting like a bumblebee. What they do not know is that I'm actually wearing a beekeeper's suit. This is Sajad Nazar from Kangaru School, collecting honey as the sweet reward of debate victory. Now, gender-based wage gaps. Simply eliminating these gender-based wage gaps can pose unintended consequences. What are these unintended consequences, you say? This may reduce flexibility in negotiating wages, limiting job opportunities, and decreasing incentive for career advancement. Now, to actually answer my opposer's question, imposing rigid pay structures actually stifle the flexibility in a market. They also discourage innovation. You asked how can creativity and innovation be added through gender-based wage gaps? Well, here is the answer for you. The discriminated gender will feel like they are not doing enough. They're not doing enough to be on the same level as the non-discriminated gender. Therefore, they will come up with new and creative ways to, if not be on the same level, be above the non-discriminated gender in ways of searching for higher wages. Now, some Scandinavian countries where equality measures have been put say that there has been a decrease in women workforce rates. What does this show? Exactly what I have just stated. By eliminating gender-based wage gaps, it will decrease the workforce. The women will start, sorry, not women, the discriminated gender will work less. They'll stop becoming as innovative and creative as they were. Now, here with me, I have alternatives or solutions or other factors that we can consider to promote gender equality. Now, a study by the Journals of Applied Psychology titled Beyond Equal Pay said that we should look on total compensation. Now, what are these measures of total compensation? These include access to benefits, work-life balance, flexible work arrangements, professional development opportunities, providing affordable childcare, providing educational opportunities, and having representation in leadership positions. Now, all of these factors that I have just stated may as well promote gender equality. You remember this apple, right? Well, the one bite that has been taken out of it, it's gone, digested. There are other bites in order to finish this, in order to finish this apple. Finishing this apple means we get gender equality. Now, by taking other bites of this, which I have just mentioned, those were the bites that are needed to finish this apple, to actually get true gender equality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have just said that gender-based wage gaps should not be eliminated to promote gender equality. But you have also said that if you bite that apple, there are other things that can promote gender equality. So, these things that promote gender equality, which are they? We need to pay them same wages because they are doing the same work. That person who is working at night is not doing the same work as the person who is working at daytime. So the person who is working at daytime, both genders should be paying the same wages. Those persons that are working at night, they should be paying the same wages. A person working at night is not as the same person working at daytime. A person doing this type of career is not as a person doing another type of career. So we are basing on the same time, the same career, the same field, they should be paying the same amount of wage. Thank you.
Looks like somebody was not paying attention to what I was saying. I actually did mention the other bites of the apple. Now, maybe I can repeat them again because someone has a problem with their ears. These are access to benefits, work-life balance, flexible work arrangements, professional development opportunities, providing affordable childcare, educational opportunities, and representation in leadership positions. I mean, let us be honest. We have a lot of women leaders nowadays, right? They are paid the same. I'm not going to lie. But this also brings a stable gender equality because governments will have both male and female, will have both male and female leaders, making sure that they can communicate to both genders. Now, in conclusion, we cannot solely focus on eliminating gender wage gaps. This will be oversimplifying a very complex issue. There's more, as I've just stated, there are more bites of the apple. Thank you.
Archangels Kanyweri. You are composed, Mercy. I like the good flow of points and used your time well to actually push in a lot of points. Monene, I didn't understand why you needed the point of repeating the family structure superiority. You had the chance to actually add more points. And then you mentioned on alternative sources of income based on the gender-based wage gaps. How does that correlate to the gender equality equation? So it would have been good to actually say when people actually go seeking alternative sources, how does it affect gender equality? Brian, did you have any evidence on on the nothing discrepancy of pay? You know, you mentioned that men are paid less, but what evidence do we have, or it was just a statement?
Kangaru, I think I want to start immediately with Sajad. That was very commendable as a debater, and I must say this, and this is the truth of the matter. The debate started like it was from the last speaker going to the second, going to the first. Why? So you have a lot of work for you, Jacob, all right, to start off your team powerfully. You know, I think you came in by started rebuttaling these guys you did not define. No, you do your work. Define your terms and flow, all right? You gave a few examples, no back end though. However, Sajad did a great back end. That's what is important. James as well, good rebuttals and use of style and rhetoric. I like the questions that you're doing. So all the best to both teams.
And I'll go straight to the results. The judges have awarded Kangaru School with 64.5%. A round of applause, please, for Kangaru School. And the judges have awarded the Archangels Kanyweri with 57%. A round of applause, please, for the Archangels Kanyweri. And the winners of this debate is Kangaru School with 64.5%. And we have come to the end of this debate here at the Debate Circle. Thank you very much to both junior teams. And remember to check more of our content on our social media handles at the Debate Circle, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and equally on Threads. Until next time, it's goodbye from us.